Is it a little late to be doing this? Yes. But am I gonna do it anyway? You betcha. Hi friends, welcome back, or just welcome if you're new, which at this point is pretty much all of you. My name is Emily, and today I'm gonna be doing the mid-year freakout tag. I know this isn't quite mid-year anymore, it'll be about the middle of July by the time I post this, but this tag just seemed like way too much fun to pass up, and I've gotten a lot of good book recommendations from watching other booktubers do it, so I'm hoping maybe I can do the same for you. So strap in, let's go.
Hey friends, Editing Emily here. If you can count the number of times that I say incredible or super excited or something, I don't know what you'll get, but just letting you know it's an incredible amount. See, I just said it again.
Question number 1. Best book you've read so far in 2020? Well, I sort of have two. I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern and If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. The Night Circus was actually something that I picked up from the library far before I ever got a chance to read it. I was still at school at the time, and I had gotten the book from the library by my university, and then all of the lockdown stuff happened, and I got so busy with online school I just didn't get a chance to read it. But when things finally started winding down, I picked this up, and wow, am I glad that I did that. This book was absolutely incredible. Erin Morgenstern just has such an incredible way of describing her settings. I know people say this all the time, but I seriously felt like I was in the book. I felt like I was at the Night Circus, like I could smell it, which is so crazy. Normally that never happens for me, and I was finally able to do that. Reading this book feels like you're reading poetry. It's just immaculate. It's so incredible. I think at this point, The Night Circus is my favorite book. The second book I mentioned, If We Were Villains, was also absolutely incredible. I didn't really know what this book was about when I bought it, other than there was Shakespeare in it, and as a big old Shakespeare nerd, I was super excited about that, so that was enough in itself to get me to pick this up. This book was absolutely incredible. M.L. Rio has such a vivid writing style, and the characters, the relationships between the characters were incredible, and the plot kept me on the edge of my seat. This was definitely a 5-star read. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. Question number 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2020. So this isn't exactly a sequel, but I'm gonna have to go with Called on the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. So Maggie had said in a tweet a while ago that the Dreamer trilogy, which Called on the Hawk is the first book in the Dreamer trilogy, wasn't just going to be a continuation of the Raven cycle, that it would be its own thing. But I think there are enough similar elements in here that I can consider it a sequel. Also, this is the only one that I would really put in this category. I've read sequels, but nothing matches up to this. I'm a huge Raven Cycle fan, so Called on the Hawk was obviously on my list of must-reads, and it was just incredible. I was totally blown away. Maggie Stiefvater's writing, as always, was impeccable. I loved all the new characters. I'm super excited to get to know them and their relationships with all of the old characters. Super excited that Declan is starting to get characterized a little bit more. In the original series, wasn't the hugest fan of Declan, but now, after reading Called on the Hawk, I'm starting to see some merit in him, so I'm excited to see where that goes. Question number 3, a new release that you haven't read yet, but you're looking forward to. I am excited to read True Life by Jay Kristoff. I read Lifelike a while ago, and then I never got around to reading Deviate, actually, so Deviate should probably be the answer to this question, but True Life is the one that just recently came out. I think it was like a month ago or something. I was pretty intrigued by the characters in Lifelike and the world and all of that stuff. I'm also just a big fan of Jay's writing, so I'll be excited to read Deviate and then finally be able to pick up True Life. Question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. This one's coming up pretty soon. I think it was August 18th I read, so I'm really happy about that. But I'm beyond excited to read Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko. I was fortunate enough to be able to virtually attend a panel that she spoke on during Y'all Stay Home, which was Y'all Fest's way of still having their festival during the pandemic. Raybearer follows Tarsai, I think that's how you say her name, and she is competing to become a part of a council that protects her crown prince, but she is also obligated and compelled to destroy him. Obviously, Jordan Ifueko explained it much better than I did, but I think you get the gist. I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Question number 5, biggest disappointment. Okay friends, I'm gonna be real with you. I never thought that I would read any Sarah J Maas books. I just thought they weren't my thing, but as you can see behind me, looks like they did turn out to be my thing. A friend got me to start reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I really liked it. So I was really impressed, read the whole ACOTAR series, and then, unfortunately, I read the novella A Court of Frost and Starlight. This was just pretty disappointing to me. I mean, I knew it was a novella, so it obviously wasn't going to be as big as the other ones or have as many twists and turns or little intricacies or anything like that, but this just fell really flat. It felt kind of unnecessary. I wasn't super invested. There were a few sweet moments, but overall it just kind of felt not so great. Question number 6, biggest surprise. This one actually goes to a book that I read for a comparative literature course that I took last semester, and it is called So Far From God by Ana Castillo. This book follows a mother and her 4 daughters as they navigate their lives in the midst of magic or with their lack of magic, and it discusses how that magic, or lack thereof, affects them. Ana Castillo's narrative voice is super compelling and refreshing, and I was hooked from the first word. Even though this is a magical realist novel, it does give a sometimes painfully real look into issues like poverty and feminism and spirituality and how all of those can have an effect on just everyday people. This is another one that I would highly, highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. Question number 7, favorite new author, new to you or debut. So I know Erin Morgenstern made her debut a long time ago, but I am gonna have to go with Erin Morgenstern. I hadn't read any of her work before The Night Circus, and then when I finished The Night Circus, I immediately ordered The Starless Sea online. I didn't like Starless Sea quite as much as Night Circus, but there was still a lot of the elements that I really enjoyed, the prosaic writing and the mind-bending magic systems. I'm super excited to read any more work that Erin Morgenstern puts out. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. Can I say Rhysand from the ACOTAR series? Because I'm gonna go with Rhysand from the ACOTAR series. Number 1, he's hot. And number 2, he drinks that respect women juice. Perhaps a little too blatantly to be natural, but that's okay, he's trying. Question number 9, newest favorite character. For this one, I'm going to go with Jordan Hennessy from Call on the Hop, and then I guess by extension all of her dream copies as well. I was super intrigued by Jordan and her backstory and the idea of her dream copies. I also really liked her relationship with Ronan, so I'm excited to see where that goes in the next couple books. Question number 10, book that made you cry, and this goes to Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, 100%. Normally when I cry in books, it's like a once or twice kind of thing, happens near the end usually. Not for this here book. This one had me crying by the middle. Amy and Jay just have such an incredible talent for packing an emotional punch in just a few words. And that's exactly what happened in this book. So many emotions, so many things going on. And also the cliffhanger. I literally don't know how I'm going to survive the wait until the last book in the trilogy comes out. Seriously, I don't know. This book is amazing. Super fantastic. Please go read it. Also, side note, when I said that I was going to talk about the Aurora cycle on my channel in my last video, I really didn't think it would be so soon, but here we are. Question number 11, book that made you happy. At the urging of my mom, I read the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Annie Barrows and Marianne Schaffer. And wow, I'm very glad that she suggested it to me. The book is told in an epistolary format, so through letters, and it follows Juliet, who is a writer, and she goes to the island of Guernsey to garner some inspiration for her next piece. She goes there after she receives correspondence from one of the residents, and she becomes entwined in their lives, and she and the residents are changed for the better because of their interactions with each other. It was such a sweet book. I was really invested in the love story. If you're looking for a sweet, uplifting book, I would definitely recommend Guernsey. Question number 12, most beautiful book you have bought or received this year. So I haven't read all of these yet, but I just recently bought a box set of the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, which I will have a series review on that, so all 3 of them in the same video at some point, probably next month, so keep an eye out for that. Look at these. Look how pretty they are. The marbling on the spines and just the colors. I mean, look at that. Look how pretty. I'm super excited. I actually did finish Shadow and Bone, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good, so I'm excited to read the others. The only complaint that I have is that it has this sticker on the front that's not a sticker. It's like printed into the cover. Does that bother any of you? Where like you'll get like a Target edition or something and then it just has like a big Target edition on the front and you can't get it off? That sucks. Let me know if that bugs you down in the comments, because that just absolutely not. I hate it when that happens. And finally, question 13, books that you need to read this year. That's a great question. The answer is like a million of them. For real though, if I had to narrow it down to like the top 3 that I need to read, those would be 1,000 Perfect Notes by C.G. Drews, Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Bellezza, and The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. 1,000 Perfect Notes and Empress of a Thousand Skies are on my list just because they've been sitting on my bookshelf forever, and I bought them super excited to read them, and then I just got caught up in other books, so I really want to read these. And I need to read Gatsby because I feel like a fake English major because I haven't read Gatsby yet, so I need to fix that and become a real English major finally. And that's the end of my list. I hope that I named some books that piqued your interest or intrigued you, or some books that you have also read and enjoyed. Either one of those, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to chat with you. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you so choose, and I will see you next time. Happy reading!